Listen, I think you two are going to be great at this. This is your first podcast, the both of you, Sean? Well,
Just the first time out. Yeah, first time out. What do we need to know?
well, you just go ahead and talk into that big foamy black thing in front of your lips.
And what do I do with my microphone?
Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, wow. Welcome to SmartLess.
SmartLess.
Good morning, good day, good evening, listener. Wherever
We
you may be.
had a real robust in-house SmartLess text chain going this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
we
fascinating.
Uh-huh.
I love
Fascinating.
talking about that stuff.
Talking about all the scary stuff.
Going on in the world.
Yeah, like AI. I don't know if you've heard about this. The acronym is AI. It stands for artificial intelligence.
Wait, go back.
And it's coming, and it's going to be freaky.
I wish the listeners could see
Okay.
how dead your eyes were when you were
Shut up, Will. This is serious.
Okay.
No, it's coming, and
So what now? I'm run for the hills, buy a pistol? What are we doing?
or I guess double down on just chatting with folks like we're doing. You know,
Yes.
I guess you can kind of robot us, can't you? I mean,
No
I'm pretty
way.
much already
There's
a robot.
no
You've always
way,
called me a robot,
Sean.
Will.
Sean, there is no way, Jason. It's me, Will. I'm
Sean,
here.
you look so good today.
It is a pleasure to be on SmartLess.
I'm excited for our next guest.
Wait, do I have any good dad jokes?
Oh, you going to try to lighten things?
Yeah, I got one. Ready for
Pollyanna,
this?
guy, Will.
Yeah, open up the
Look
file.
at this.
Yeah. What
Ready?
do you got?
What do you call a teacher who never farts in public?
What's that?
Private tutor.
Oh my goodness,
Sean, that's fun. Sean, that's really fun.
That is fine.
I've taken that one. I'm going to ride that for a week.
I know how that feels.
I was going to say, speaking of which, Sean, do you have a callback today or a photo shoot or something? Because you do look great.
You
Oh,
do look
thanks.
good.
Yeah.
What's the occasion?
No, I didn't. I took a shower and
No
this
way.
is what it looks like. Yeah.
There we have it.
Wow.
Yeah, I took
So
a shower.
when you shower, do you shampoo your hair and condition it?
I don't condition. I've never conditioned my hair. I just shampoo.
Okay. And is
or
it
I get
every
the
time you
shampoo.
every time you
Yes.
shower, you shampoo your hair?
Yeah, who doesn't?
People who look good.
I don't.
What do you mean?
Every time?
Yeah,
If
the
you
shampoo.
shampoo your hair every time you shower, you get that fluffy, shitty hairdo like
Yeah,
Sean
and you're
P.
getting rid of
Hayes.
the natural oils. Okay, you're washing away your natural oils.
Well,
you
I
need
don't.
some clump.
Yeah, you need your natural oils.
You need your natural clump.
Yeah, but what about?
You got to get Lorenzo's oil, okay? Yeah, that's what that movie was about, Lorenzo's oil.
Do you know? Can I reference one of my own projects, please? Thank
Please
you. Here
do.
it comes.
Yeah, here we go.
A picture called Paul. Not widely
yes.
seen, but I did play Secret Service agent, last name Zoil. And in one of the last scenes of the movie, I finally introduced myself, first name Lorenzo.
What a sweaty joke.
And I was told by the director
Edgar Wright.
no, it was actually Greg Mottola.
Oh, Greg Mottola, right. Yes, sorry.
and he
But it was
says,
you and
Yeah, he says, I think it's the first time he's ever really heard this himself. Like, so in other words, play a beat once you say, I'm Detective Zoil, Lorenzo Zoil. And then like play a beat of like, oh my God, that sounds like the movie.
right.
like a little wink.
And so it was funny. I do recommend a rental on that.
Yeah.
Paul, it's called.
It's called Paul.
All right.
Seth Rogen plays an alien.
I'd look
or
I'd look for like a free stream, maybe. You know what I mean?
Try 5 minutes of free and then go ahead and rent.
I'd get on a VPN and stream illegally.
If it's $2.99, I'll buy it.
What else? Okay, I'm back in Atlanta.
yeah.
I'm in my
Yeah.
final week here.
Are you so
You guys
excited?
are in Los Angeles. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be done. It's been a great project, but I am excited to come home and see you
When are you
folks
done?
again.
When are you done? Saturday?
I'm done on Sunday. Today's Wednesday.
Sunday. I'm flying home Sunday too. I'm leaving today, but I'll be back Sunday.
Wait, you're in Los
I'm in
Angeles,
LA, but I'm going to New York today for a few days.
and then you're going to be back on Sunday.
I'll be back Sunday.
I'll be back in the after midnight. So
Oh, I'm glad
can't
we're
have
caught
our
up
dinner.
with schedules. Wait, so you're not coming back?
That
to,
is so
Sean,
shitty,
God,
Sean.
Sean,
I can
that's so
hear you.
so
biting.
rude.
I know, it's so judgy.
Biting.
So listen, what about Sunday? Were you there, Jay, or just Will?
Just me.
Oh,
Where?
I thought you went too to Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day.
You were not there, I guess, Sean.
I couldn't go.
We had a very robust conversation, actually, kind of about a lot of the stuff we were talking about this morning. We were talking about AI, and we were talking about the future. And,
What did you discuss?
the present. We discussed the fact that we're all human.
No, on Sunday, Scotty rented a boat. We went out onto the ocean in a
Boy,
boat.
that
He finally
sounds
got
like-
to his
doesn't
notes.
that sound
Will.
like
he,
a focus-
He managed to wedge his little talk notes in. Oh,
Doesn't
really?
Doesn't that
No,
sound
I
like a
forgot about
focus
that.
feature? Doesn't that sound like a little indie film? Scotty rented a boat. You know what I mean?
Edgy.
To go and companion with Paul.
Yeah.
Is he still? Is he? Did he make it back home, or are they still searching
No,
for him?
we all were gonna go, and
You guys used to have a boat, though, so you've
That's-
toying
yeah, we had
around
a
with
little
maybe getting another one.
I don't know, maybe.
Does Scotty pilot the boat?
Well, he did this one for a little bit,
Captain.
but it had a
Captain the
captain. Yeah, it had a little captain.
But he likes to get behind the. Does he wear a little cap?
Yeah, he doesn't wear a little cap, but he likes to drive big machinery. So for one birthday one
Insert
year,
joke here.
Well, he's,
No, there's-
he's with the wrong guy. I mean, I don't know what.
For his birthday one year, we went to Vegas because I knew that. And in Vegas, there's a place that you can go where you can drive bulldozers and
Really?
you can excavate land.
Have you
and,
guys ever done that? Or Will, have you ever done that? I've done that. It's incredible driving those big things.
Yeah,
I've
right.
never driven an excavator, but I drove like a big.
Here comes
work
an ad
truck-
for GMC. Get ready. Here,
Work
go ahead.
truck. Well, GMC trucks are professional grade.
Are they?
So if you're working your
And
way
what
around
about
a
the
work
Denali?
site,
What happens with the Denali?
well, the Denali HD, or are you talking about the new Sierra EV?
Oh God,
So Sean, how was the Vegas trip? You
that was a
drove
while
trucks?
ago. We drove trucks, and what else did we do?
Did you win any money?
By the way, he's just doing a lot of things: driving the boats, and then going and driving the trucks. It's
Yeah,
all
that's
just
what he says.
different, just different characters from the Village People.
Either
If
of
I'm,
you-
if I'm right. I mean,
Any ride-alongs for the cop outfit?
what did they?
Clearly, he's not doing a lot of working. Or are you?
No, these are the things.
By the
these
way,
are
you're listening to this. You're listening to this podcast, and you're in a truck or you're working somewhere, and you're like, these fucking Hollywood elite assholes.
What are you talking about? Anybody can
around.
rent a boat, and anybody can
I'm
rent
going
a.
to Vegas to make believe I'm driving
people
a
aren't
tractor.
renting boats.
You can
Sean.
buy
You're
it's like
so out of
$100 to
touch.
go
You're
drive
so
these things in
fucking out of
Vegas.
touch, dude.
It's-
You're so out of touch. I was thinking, I was coming back home. I was at 45,000 feet, and I was coming home, and I was thinking about how out of touch Sean.
You're looking out the windshield to past the
Literally
pilot.
just spit out my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that came out of my mouth.
You know, Sean, I would say, though, I would like to, I actually, upon further reflection, Scotty would look good like a little sailor outfit.
Sure he
I'm
would.
just saying, like,
All right.
like an old school.
All right, I'll make a note.
Can we make that happen?
Yes, we can make it happen. You can wear like a striped, like nautical.
You know, with the bib, like the bib thing that goes on the back. You
No
know?
shirt. No shirt. Tits just resting over the top. And then here comes Sean in a little Gilligan outfit. Hey!
Don't say it. You guys should go as the
bib.
skipper and Gilligan for Halloween. Oh my God.
That's really funny.
You guys, that would be so.
Oh my
And we'll
God.
be Marianne and Ginger. Come on, Willie.
That's really
Professor
funny.
and Marianne.
All right, let's wake up our guest. I'm sure he's completely passed out by now. Guys, I'm very excited / nervous for today's guest because I've always wanted to meet him for quite a while now.
Okay.
He first hit my radar coming out of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in 2012.
What?
Okay. Then he quickly
2012.
became the lead in a very stylish action franchise I can't mention because then you know who he is. He voiced one of the most successful animated films. He went on to play one of the most iconic musicians of our time, was nominated and won all kinds of awards for that.
Did we text about him today? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go back to the top now.
Oh, no, don't. Please don't. Please.
He
I
has
beg you.
done and is doing a slew of cool stuff since then, but most recently, this hotshot has knocked me down and out, literally killed me, in the incredibly satisfying and remarkably successful Netflix film called Carry On. Guys, please say hello to Taron Egerton.
Oh,
Hi. You guys didn't know. You thought there's no way
know.
he
I
knows
thought
him
it
because he
was
says he's
no.
looking forward to meeting him, and then I
Yes.
switched it and I tricked you.
It was less of a red herring and more of a lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but fun to lie.
My
Taryn,
sister
my-
loves that movie, Taron.
No way.
which one, Sean?
Carry on, carry on.
No, which?
Oh, great film. Great bad guy in that. Let Taryn talk. Good morning,
Hi, Taron.
Hi, Taron.
Good day. How are you guys? Thanks so much for having me on.
Very excited you're
We're
here.
very honored to
Oh,
have
it's
you.
lovely. It's nice to see you, Jason. You good?
Good to see you. I love the shaved head. Listener, he's got a real tight, like a swim team, almost marine type of shaved head. I've done it twice and I loved it.
That's it, streamlined. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Getting to where I'm going quicker. I just finished a movie where I had a kind of shaved head, so it's still growing out. Yeah. What
So you're
remains?
keeping it
I think so for now. Yeah, for now.
through the summer because it's warm.
Although it doesn't get that warm when I grow it out anymore. I'm not blessed like you guys are.
Well,
You guys
you've
have
got
got three
beautiful hair.
very fine heads of hair.
No, it's all fake.
Snaps.
It's all fake. You want to see
it's
me take
all
it off?
snapped
Check this out.
on. We'll glue it.
Now, where do we find you? You're in Los Angeles?
No, I'm not. I'm in Wales. I got back from Australia a couple of weeks ago where I just finished the film and I've come home to see my family. So I'm here for
that's nice.
2
I
weeks
love it.
before.
I've got
Yeah.
questions about Wales.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of friendly with Gareth Bale.
Yes.
Wales' own Gareth Bale listener.
A
That's
celebrated
a soccer player.
son of Wales. Yeah.
Celebrated.
Yeah.
Very celebrated.
And you've had Matthew Reese on the podcast before.
And we've had
I listened
Matthew
to that
Reese.
episode.
Yeah, we've had a few. We've had a few very distinguished, and now we've rounded it out. We've had the most distinguished Welshman alive, I think.
Sweet Willie's done some time there in Wales.
I
haven't
have.
you?
Well, I don't want to call it done some time. I was able to enjoy some time in Wales for a few months, many years back, in Cardiff.
Oh.
Beautiful country, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I'm from Aberystwyth, and it's a stunning part of the world. I'm further north, a couple of hours north. But when I finish a job, I like to come back and just decompress, spend time with.
Is that on the way to Snowdonia? Is that in that kind of?
If you're coming
direction?
from Cardiff, it is. Yeah, it is right on the coast.
Snowdonia is a place in Wales?
Yeah.
Wow.
Snowdonia is a place in Wales, and the mountain at the centre of that area is called Snowdon, and I think might be the third or second highest peak in the UK. I think
Sounds like a Game of
Which would
Thrones.
make it good 60 or 70 feet tall.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Now, tell me about what if you're a dummy like me and you're like, hey, I don't know whether I should go to England or I should go to Wales.
God, that
what
is
are the
you.
different? What would be the biggest difference? And be careful here because you're surrounded by Welsh.
Yeah.
What's the big difference between Wales and England? What would be?
Well, let's say there are quite distinct cultural differences. We have a language here that we still speak. You know,
Really?
In certain parts of the country, people speak Welsh sometimes as a first language. So you go.
It's not English.
It's not English. It's Welsh.
What's it sound like?
It's much old. So it's much older than English, or as I understand it. But it's
Really?
it's filled with kind of lots of very kind of throaty, guttural sounds.
Is it like
Did
Gaelic?
you really didn't know this? It's got a lot of consonants next to each other as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds more like Scots Gaelic or Irish Gaelic than English.
Yeah,
does,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Can you give us just a little something?
The one that I'm always asked to do is the village that I was raised in is the thing that I'm always asked to do on talk shows and things, because I was raised in a village called
Wow.
And then you
Yeah.
get there and you bang a right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow, I wonder what is it derived from? Like it sounds almost German, but also real Nordic, right?
Yeah, you see strange little crossovers between other languages in Europe. So there are things like you'll just find odd words that are very similar. So German for rabbit is Kaninchen and Welsh for rabbit is Kuningen. So there's like really strange little bits of crossover that you find. Yeah.
I got
That's
you.
interesting.
Wow.
What is anything specific about your Welsh upbringing that has kind of shaped your perspective on your career, like managing kind of the silliness and the nonsense sometimes that we all kind of enjoy / navigate? Anything about your Welsh upbringing that has specifically suited you for that?
Well, I think I'm from a fairly kind of, I'm not from a particularly affluent part of the world. I'm from a very normal town, quite blue collar, as you'd probably say. And I come from a place where people are quite down to earth, quite relatable and real. A lot of my early adult life and the end of my teens was spent kind of, I don't know, we've got like the most pubs per square capita of anywhere in the country. So,
really?
Really?
And less now, but I remember when I was coming up, you'd still see groups of older gentlemen who'd kind of spontaneously break out into song and sing kind of, lovely harmonies and things. We have a tradition of male voice choirs here in Wales, and that's something that I think has kind of seeped into who I am. And
that's interesting.
Right. Would that explain your ability to sing?
I think in part, most Welsh people have a go at some point. I think we have choirs are a big part of school life, certainly in my experience anyway. And I think that's something that I've definitely carried forward into my life because I've done a couple of bits of singing. Yeah.
So Taron, so then how did you come from this sort of small town in Wales, sort of out in the sort of rural area, if you will?
Yes, the middle of nowhere, mate.
Middle of nowhere. I didn't want to say that.
But
okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. So middle of nowhere, Wales, beautiful country, but middle of nowhere, and then you end up, and now you're Taron Egerton, movie star. So what that's a kind of a long way to go. What was the first step in that to sort of move from there in that direction?
Well, thank you. I thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. But so it was a lot to do with the town I'm from. Actually, the town I'm from is called Aberystwyth, and we have a great art centre. And I joined a youth theatre there when I was 15. I moved from one part of Wales to another when I was 12, and I had a couple of years where I really struggled to acclimatise and make friends and meet new people. And I joined a youth theatre when I was 15, and it just felt like the universe clicked into place. I found my tribe. I felt like I had an aptitude for something, which wasn't a feeling I'd really had before.
Was that something, sorry to interrupt you, but was that something that like your parents were like, oh, poor Taron is not making friends and we keep moving around and maybe joining this theater group, honey, you'd meet some friends? Or was it a passion you had for acting?
No, I don't. I think I just was watching other people do it from afar and started to get that itch and that craving. And I think I always, even though, don't get me wrong, even though I was struggling to kind of acclimatize in a new place, I was still an insufferable, attention-seeking class clown, Right. So it was like an appealing outlet for that, I think.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
Old honey baked ham, Arnett.
It's funny, Sean. It's not dissimilar. It's not dissimilar from you. I'm all bits aside.
Oh, please
right?
expand.
And what I was going to say was, it occurs to me, and this is nothing new. It's not breaking news, but there is a recurring theme here that we hear from a lot of people, a lot of performers, of how many times people, when they're younger, join a local theater group, a local theater, whatever, and how important these things are in our communities for being an outlet, not just an outlet for kids, not as a conduit to superstardom, but just a place for kids who don't feel like they fit in to be able to go to find their voice.
That's right.
And how often we hear it, and how important that is, and how much we need to protect that.
And because it's one of the few, I think so too. I think it's one of the few places where it doesn't matter who you are, what color your skin is, who you are, your gender, anything at all, everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Team sports, too.
Team sports, for sure.
And sports, too.
And we will be right back.
And now, back to the show.
So you join this local youth theater, and you find a place where you find your people, as it were. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it felt like. Found my tribe, and what ensued between the ages of 15 and 19 were just these really blissful years of being really creative, really social, really out of my shell, and it was all kind of tied together through drama. So I was getting involved with Shakespeare plays and more contemporary stuff. And I just felt that I was in my groove, in my lane, really, really loved it. And I, by the time I was about 17, I think I knew that I wanted to go to drama school. And so I auditioned. And this ties back to me being the insufferable attention seeker. The first year I auditioned, I was rejected everywhere, and from the limited amount of feedback I got, they said that I was a little underprepared and maybe a little cocksure of myself, and that really took me down a couple of pegs. And the following year,
But you took the note and recovered.
I've gotten that note. It's debilitating.
Thank you. Yeah. I think so.
Bubble pop.
Did you have? Was there a mentor in there? Was there a person in that journey, or multiple people who you can identify as people who encouraged you and pushed you the right way?
Totally. There's so many people. I mean, the first people that spring to mind are my family. So at that time, we still rented the family home. I've never wanted for anything growing up, but I'm not from an affluent background. And each audition for drama school cost somewhere in the region of 40 to 60 pounds. And my auntie paid for one, my father paid for one, my stepfather paid for one, my mother paid for one, and I paid for one. And it was a real family effort to get me to this handful of auditions. Wow. And
I'm like picturing Charlie Babbitt and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like
it was a lovely
everyone's in the same bed. And like, I love it.
And then, the second year, it all came together, and I got a few offers at different drama schools, and and the rest is history.
What monologues did you do for your auditions? Do you remember?
Well, really weirdly, I was required to sing a song, and I did Your Song by Elton John.
That's great.
And Bernie Taupin. And then I did Edmund, Thou Nature Art My Goddess, which is a kind of classic, flashy villain turn from King Lear. And I actually can't remember what my modern piece was. But yeah.
That's so cool. And what was your growing up? First of all, two things. One is when you said you were singing and stuff. I have a little tidbit. I don't know if it's
I
true.
thought you were going to say when he said your song, you were going to say my song, like $5 foot long. Right? Isn't that your song? The subway.
That's his anthem, not his song.
$5 foot long. So, no, one little tidbit. I don't know if it's true, but Irish dancing. You know have you ever seen Irish dancing when they don't
the ankle slapping?
Yeah, where they don't move the upper part of their body.
Wait.
They don't move the upper part of their body. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I don't know if this is true, but in Ireland, dancing used to be against the law or something like that. And so the police used to walk by the pubs, and so they didn't see the upper part of their body moving. They would just move the bottom part of their legs.
God,
and that's
true.
how it. That's
God,
what I heard.
God, I hope it's not.
What do you mean you heard? On what website are you diving into?
Where did you hear that?
I heard that growing up because I'm Irish.
Can we just blob in conjecture wherever we want now? Can we just sort of like...
I asked ChatGPT.
I
don't know if that's true.
If that's true, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
No, but isn't that
life.
interesting? It makes sense because they don't move your upper body. Your upper body's stiff.
No,
Sure,
we get
and
why.
because there's windows that only go down to waist height throughout
We understand.
Ireland.
God, I hope it's not true. God, I hope it's not true and that you've been saying this forever.
All right, so
Why
Taron,
don't you read a book?
So the other thing is, what was your view from Wales? What was your impression of America, and was that different than when you actually arrived?
How early did you see Will and Grace, and did that inspire you to take the trip across the Atlantic?
Right to it.
A huge part of my formative years. I enjoyed that show very much. I love that
Thank
show.
you.
I mean, it was like, certainly when I started acting, it's the perception of America is like, I don't know, I suppose the land of plenty, I guess. And,
And was that always the destination?
No, absolutely not. No, when I went to drama school, I thought I'm going to be a theatre actor, and I thought I will get a couple of guest spots on the telly, and that will pay my rent or pay the mortgage. And I really mean that. It was a shock when films happened.
Wow. So that was the adult. That was the life goal. The adult, the occupation, sort of career goal was I'm going to be a working actor in the theater, and a guest spot here or there on television will subsidize
And keep the lights on.
Yeah, I mean that would be incredible. You know, that was the dream, and so I remember very clearly getting an offer for a drama school and sitting at the kitchen table with my mother and saying, people who went to this drama school are on are on the TV. And it was like a mind-blowing
West End.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the West
Right,
End,
right,
you know,
right,
the
right.
West End. I remember I did a summer season production of Oliver when I was about 14, 15, and they had actors come up from London to play the adult roles. And they were, you know, actors who'd been on the West End. And it was like, you know, it was like Humphrey Bogart had just stepped into Aberystwyth. You know, it was that level of kind of grandeur. And,
And for Tracy, the West End is the London version of Broadway, just so my sister
Exactly.
knows.
So then,
Exactly.
Taron, was there enough time for you to be comfortable with where you are today? Because, dude, are you even 30? Like, you're not.
I am. I'm 30. I'm 35.
Okay, so then the amount of time
look
is
great.
that's not enough. That's not a lot.
Thanks,
It's not
man.
enough.
Thanks, man.
Like, you know, how long? What is it? It's like 15 years, I think, somewhere in that ballpark.
It's and you know what? I think there are times where it's like with the attention that comes with success, as you will have all experienced. There are days when you're really, really good at dealing with it. And there are days where you feel robust enough to be available to everybody who comes up to you and asks for a photo or wants to have a conversation with you or asks if you'll record a bit for their daughter's 16th birthday.
Right.
And then, of course, there are days where, not even because something bad's happened in your life, there are days where you just, you know, I think there are days where I find it much harder. And the common denominator is, and I think what people don't always realize about, you know, people in our position is normally the days where you feel less good about being available to the public are days where you feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah,
you know, there are days where your
have,
relationship to self is so weak, whether it's because I listened to one of your episodes the other day, Sean, you know, you said that you'd eaten, I don't know, some mac and cheese at 11 p.m. at night.
Good
you know,
bet. Yeah, so that's
when
You're
I
going to
do
have to
something
narrow
like that-
down the episode.
But the guy who wakes up the next day is not going to be as good at being the guy to take selfies as the guy who's just done 10 weeks eating chicken, broccoli and rice and is kind of, you know, ready to go. You know, that's my experience of the world anyway. So in answer to your question, Jason, I find it at times, I love it. If I feel psychologically, emotionally robust enough to be available for people, I'm great at it.
Yeah.
But it chops and changes.
Did you have to be, and you probably still, it's an ongoing thing. Are you helpful to your family and your friends, like where you are right now? You can't just like slide into Wales, you know, fresh off the set down in Australia, and expect everyone to be as kind of easy with the light switch as you are. Like, you have to help them kind of intellectualize what's happened to their dear Taron as well, right? Like now you're known all over the world and you've got all this money and all of this access and so I mean there's a bit of a responsibility on your end to make them comfortable with it too. Question?
Well, I think I'm lucky. I'm from a well-adjusted, you know, my family are well-adjusted and cool, and I think we're very empathetic and understanding. So they really I feel very seen very clearly by my family and by the people who are important to me in my life. And I guess I feel like, I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted because I don't know if that was
It was like a getaway car.
it was like some sort of souped up engine.
Mr. Hayes?
And you know, to that point, Jason, it's you know, it's easy to kind of lament the drawbacks of being famous or noteworthy, but it's awesome to be successful. It's awesome to do what you love. It's awesome to be involved in telling stories and to have the money. And,
It's also really weird, and it's okay to say
it is
it's very weird. And I don't know if you guys have done this. I've quite literally, and I'm sure members of my family are listening, sisters and or mom or whatever, and where I've had moments where I've said, "Hey, I'm really sorry that I put you in this position. I didn't do it on purpose, but you find yourself almost apologizing, like,
well, sure, because everyone's involved. I mean, you know, Willie, you walk down the street with your kids, and you know, a photographer gets up in your face. You kind of know how to flow with it, but maybe your kids aren't even thinking about the fact that their dad is famous, and that's like weird.
Can I tell you something funny that Abel, my 14-year-old, who's a really funny kid, said the other day? We were talking about another friend of all of ours who's very well known globally, and he was talking about them, and he said, "Oh man, thank God we're not that famous." and what I found
Will started drinking again.
What I found really funny about it was about like his sort of perception of where everything was on a scale, and B, the we're of it all. With
Yeah,
It's a circus group.
I love that. Wait, so
Well,
go back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask. I'm excited to hear. I'm excited for your project with the one that's based on the conversation with John Bishop.
Yes.
Is this thing on? Right.
Yeah.
That's so. When I heard about that, it was such a collision.
You're
of
familiar
worlds.
with him, yeah, Taron?
I know. Well, I know him. I've said hello to him a few times in passing at various things.
Great guy.
My family are from Liverpool, so you know.
there you go.
Anyone from that part of the world is, I kind of feel a vague affinity with. But
Congrats on the championship. Let's get it out of the way.
yeah. Well,
big.
yeah. I mean, it's obviously a terrible thing happened.
Yes.
But
What happened?
yeah.
Oh.
Some people were injured. A guy drove into the celebration
Sorry.
parade. But yeah, John's an amazing guy, proper Scouser. I mean, just a really cool dude. And got to know him a little bit. And then we've, through that, sort of, inspired this
Listener,
film.
this is they're talking about the main figure that is the inspiration for Will's upcoming film with Bradley Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We just finished. Yeah, so yeah, it was a lot of fun, and he's such a great guy, and his life is fascinating.
Did you write it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, with Mark Chappell, who's a friend of the podcast,
Ding,
Chappie.
we got it.
Magic word of the day.
and Bradley, of course, too.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
the three of us, yeah, and
So if had you not gotten into the Royal Academy, were you sort of getting ready to maybe do something else? Because that was right at the age when you kind of had to decide, right?
Oh man, that's a conversation that happens regularly in my family. We have a lot of pinch me, I'm dreaming moments while I've been away filming. At the house I'm in now, we've been renovating for a long period of time, and it's kind of just coming to fruition. It's just coming together, and it's been made possible largely through what's happened to me in my life, and. We did have that conversation over dinner the other day. What the fuck would you have done if you hadn't been an actor? Because I can't do anything else. I can't do anything else. I have no other skills. Getting ready for this podcast was so stressful because it involved me opening a MacBook and changing the settings and plugging a mic into the device. These things are totally beyond my abilities. I'm the world's weakest millennial.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it should be noted, Taron, we've done over 250 episodes. I don't know if you watched Sean this morning trying to do it.
Yeah.
He couldn't connect. Again,
reboot
over
3 times.
250. Imagine if he was our pilot.
I can't connect thoughts, let alone a computer.
So then, Taron, it would be safe to say you probably would have been more on the labor side of things.
But, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know.
You mean pushing a wheelbarrow? Is that what you're
Or
saying?
swinging a hammer, whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, swinging a hammer. There's people who'd laugh at the prospect of me swinging a hammer. I can't put up a set of shelves. I don't know.
I'm not great at it myself.
I think I'd have figured something out. But it's true that acting is the only thing that I ever felt a huge kind of cosmic pull towards, and I love it. I absolutely
could have been singing.
Yeah.
Now I did not know this. You correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just Wikipedia is my research partner. You sang with Sir Elton John, recorded the song that won an Academy Award for Best Original Song.
That's right. Yeah.
Wait, what?
So did you sang with him on that song?
Yeah, so he
And it's in the movie.
It's in the movie Rocketman. I love the movie.
Thanks, Sean. I think it's the credit song, and it's a song that he and Bernie wrote for the movie that we sing as a duet. I think it's like a call and response sort of deal, And they won an Oscar for it. Yeah.
You sang how it's a duet.
Well,
So you get to hold the Oscar for a couple of months a year?
Yeah, no. I think the Oscars are reserved for the chaps who wrote it,
But still, we'll talk about a pinch me moment.
Incredible.
Did you sing with him in the studio, or did you do your part and then later they recorded his part?
No, we went in and sang. We went in and sang together in the studio. Yeah, It was a lovely experience.
That's pretty wild.
Of course, by this time, you guys were probably close buddies because was he a part of your early research, auditioning, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so I sang. I'd say the animated movie that you mentioned when you introed me is called Sing, and I
Sing,
sang I'm Still Standing in that movie, and then in the Kingsman sequel, Elton came along and played himself, and through those two things, the conversation around me playing him in Rocketman came about and grew from there.
So wait. Internal, did the two of you kind of have that conversation on the set, and you guys decided, well, maybe we should go out and kind of pitch this together? Or
Matthew Vaughn, who directed the Kingsman films and has produced a couple of other things that I've been in as well, he, David Furnish, and Elton had formed a friendship, and I think the Rocketman project in the iteration it was in at that time, because there was a different director and a different actor attached, had stalled, and
oh, I see. Okay,
and we were there to kind of step in, basically. Yeah,
That's cool.
boy. Wow.
yeah. Nothing if not opportunistic.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, listen. I mean, it's a right place, right
Yeah.
time. That's
Yeah.
a famous, part of our
Yeah,
business.
and the movie, like when I saw the movie, you were so great in it. I love that movie.
I have
And it
notes.
was- you have-
Are
is
you
it
guys,
locked?
is the picture locked? Because I did.
No, but
Kidding.
when I was watching, it was like,
Incredible.
oh well, the next logical move is to make the movie a stage musical,
Yes, I've thought the same thing. Yeah.
right? I mean, it's like done. It's all done. And so I
Yeah.
just didn't know if you wanted to ever, if you were part of that conversation or whatever.
No, I'm sure it's occurred to them. David and Elton, they obviously, I know that they've got various irons in the fire with theatrical endeavors, and I'm sure it's occurred to them. You're friends with Elton, right?
Yeah. We've hung out for many years.
I don't know whether they've ever considered it seriously, but I don't think it would involve me. It's one of those things that it was such a moment in my life and something I'm so fiercely proud of that I just wouldn't want to touch it.
For sure. You already did it.
Yeah.
You already did it.
We'll be right back.
And back to the show.
A completely different experience with the success of a project than what you experienced on your other projects that have been equally successful. I mean, I would imagine that the Kingsman process was probably more startling and challenging to you because it was the first big splash into public view.
Was. I mean, I'm really grateful for it. It was the thing that made my name,
So
and
great.
I really that first film especially. I do think is kind of cool.
And they're incredibly well made. I mean, I'm sure we could do a whole podcast on the
know.
process of
I
making
love
those things with the
those.
stunts and the intricacies of the camera work and stuff. It's just stunning stuff.
Yeah, it was really well done. But it was a lot. I was 23, and I remember I was making a TV show. I was a year out of drama school, and I was filming a TV show for Sky in the UK. And I remember I got an email from my agent, and at the time it was called Huntsman and Son, and it didn't have the script, but it had 2 scenes in it. And it was one of the scenes was the scene where I first meet Colin Firth's character in the pub. And I didn't know Colin was involved. I didn't know Michael Caine was involved. I didn't know anyone was involved. But I read the scene, and I don't know how you guys, but I don't know about you guys, but I find that whenever I'm excited about a piece of writing, I start reading it aloud, and that's normally how I know that it's something I
do that,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I know the street corner I was on in London, and I was reading this scene, and I started reading it aloud.
Whoa! What are you selling newspapers?
I really was.
A sandwich board?
I was in Holborn, and I just popped the email open, started reading it, and as I read, I kid you not, I read the scene, and I thought, that's my part. I've got to get that part.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
my part. And I've never actually had it since. I've never had that level of
They say nowadays you manifested it.
Yeah, well, it felt like that.
These hippy dippy kids.
No,
today.
come on, man. You got to put it. I tell you a film of yours, Taron, that I really love. I loved all your films, and you're good.
Carry on. Sorry, I cut you off.
I never saw that one. Is that the one?
No,
is that the one where
I thought you were
your
gonna say
character wore a ball cap? What a choice!
Listen,
what a fucking fucking ball cap. Hey, you guys see what he's doing? No, I was.
just
I was
push
going to say,
through. We'll cut
I don't know.
that. We'll cut that.
No, we're not going to cut that. We're going to loop it. We're going to. Did you guys see Taron in Tetris? I loved that movie.
I didn't
man.
see it. I want to see it.
Such a great, cool film about how that game came about. And,
I love that game.
It's a fascinating story, isn't it? It's a really fascinating
Yeah,
story.
it was cool. I think you're one of about 27 people who saw it, so I'm really thrilled. Thanks, man.
It's a great little movie, man.
Wait, it's about the guys that designed that game?
Yeah.
It is. It's about, well, it sounds so dry. It's about the guy who licensed the game for distribution globally from memory, and his relationship with the designer who designed the game in Russia before the war in '89. So it's a fun movie. That was released on Apple.
It's amazing, and people are trying to sort of muscle their way into to grab the license for it because they understand the impact that it's going to have. It's fascinating. Film.
Well, I
It's
do
really
like
cool.
the game, so I'll watch the movie.
Oh, thanks for thanks so much. What did Tracy think of the game?
Does it cut into your Candy Crush hours
It
or
does.
not
I have
really?
to. I
Well, the
really have
irony
to.
is that you do have such a crush on candy. You know?
It's so true. But wait, go back to the America thing for just a second, Taron.
Okay.
Because I want to know, so I got your impression that, because I'm always fascinated with the perspective of people in other countries that come here and work here. What was it like when you first worked here, and was it everything that you thought it would be, or what was not?
It was better. I love America. I bought a home in America.
You feel comfortable here?
I absolutely do. And, I get, whenever I have, meetings with prospective, directors or writers, quite often people ask, what is the perception of America now, given everything that's happening?
Yeah, we'd like to know that. Please go ahead.
And I don't know, I think it depends on who you are. But my experience of America, regardless of where you go, and I've visited, various places, not just New York and LA, but the people in America are, from my experience, generally... it's just a wonderful place. It's a place. I remember when I first landed in New York, I had a really weird feeling that I was like, I don't know if it's because I'd watched Home Alone too many times, but it felt like coming home. There's a warmth and I think historically, there is an inclusiveness at the heart of what America is. It seems to me that I really love about it, and
melting pot.
Yeah, and I have nothing. I mean, as I say, I have a house in California that I split my time between, and
That's great.
Yeah, I love being in the States. Why? What's your fear, Sean?
No, I like to know different people's perception because I find it fascinating. I mean, when I go over to London, or people ask the same thing, what do you think of London? What do you think of England? Whatever. And I absolutely love it over there. I mean, I haven't been to Wales, but I need to go to Wales.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Wales.
Yeah, and it strikes me that, you have such microcosmic identities when you move from one place to another in a country. If you spent a weekend in Liverpool, it's going to be vastly different from your experience, in Edinburgh or whatever.
Right. And I walk around London last time I was there just a couple months ago, and I'm like, everywhere you go, it's incredible history, which we don't have here. And so, and I talk to people about it, and they're like, and this one girl I know over there, she's like, yeah, I always forget to look up. I'm like, what do you mean?
Or
She's
look
like,
left.
I always look.
Good, Jason.
I always forget to look up and look at these historical buildings because everybody's just so used to it. So fresh eyes is really cool. That's what I've always asked people who aren't from here. What do your fresh eyes see?
Yeah.
Now, Taron, you are managing to knock off really great commercial projects, really good sort of like artistic projects. Like, is this just dumb luck? No, you're doing some sort of really good deliberate work in choosing what you do. What is the perfect project kind of look like to you? Is it about the part? Is it about the people involved? Is it the theater versus streaming versus theatrical? Like what do you look for?
I don't know. I mean, you operate within the constraints of what you're asked to do, and you can the grass is always greener. I could be, I could let a side of myself out where I would lament not doing certain things, and there are things that I would love to be doing, but you have to focus on the things that are available to you. And I'm so lucky, and I do get offered things that feel. I know that I try and look for things that feel different from a character perspective. So I'm not comfortable. I don't like the idea of being
pigeonholed and
put in a box or whatever. Right. I mean, in fact, when we did Carry On, my biggest concern
what a picture!
Bravo!
The only thing that happened when they rolled credits is I wish they would carry on this picture.
Carry on and on and on. Where is the sequel? Sorry, we'll get him out soon. He's running around the balcony. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was. I worried that it was too
good,
too vanilla or whatever. Or it was too near to me. It was a kind of average Joe guy, and I suppose the actors that I look up to and really admire and revere are the actors who try and stretch themselves and
like with a ball cap,
right? Do have a limp and a missing tooth and a weird accent. I heard that.
So, but I try and look for things like when I after Elton, I went and did the show for Dennis Lehane, Blackbird, which I felt satisfying because it felt. Oh my God! I definitely like doing things that feel different. I suppose I'd aspire to be I like character actors. I like actors who are different from one thing to the next.
Character actor, yeah. And unfortunately, you're too goddamn good looking to be a true character actor, so you have to act your way into that perception, and you're doing it, and you're getting opportunities now with scripts that lend itself to that. And so, it's...
I'm gonna ask you the Jason Bateman question, which is, you've been doing it now for a while, and you've done a lot of great work. Do you see yourself doing different stuff, as in directing?
That's a great question.
Or writing something?
No, that's a great question. It's kind of where I was.
No, I mean, I feel I listen to you guys talking with Jude Law, and he summed it up pretty.
One of the all-time greats.
We have got to get a collar on that guy. He's disrupting the record.
No, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
But I feel that way. It scares me, and I have such admiration for anyone who makes that leap, because I'd absolutely love to do it. Of course I would, but
What's going on with Smoke? What's going on? This is the Apple show that's coming out
tell us about
June
that.
27th.
Yes.
What drew you to it? What is it about? Is this going to be different than the thing that immediately precedes it? Like as you're just talking about doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely different from anything I've done before. So it's created by Dennis Lehane, who was the creator showrunner of Blackbird.
Yeah. And
when we finished shooting that show, he approached me about doing another story, and it's one of those. The trailer's out; it's just come out, but it's one of those that's really hard to describe. But the user-friendly logline is: I play an arson investigator who is having very, very limited success catching two prolific arsonists in a fictional town called Umberland, and a police detective is brought in to help him solve these arsons, basically, and that role is played by Journey Smollett. And what you learn over the course of the show is that he is harboring some secrets, and it's one of those shows where I don't really know. This is the first bit of press I'm doing for it, and I have no idea how to promote it without kind of giving it away.
Right.
But is there enough in there to craft some sort of logline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, for anyone who's seen Blackbird, it's a kind of sister piece, I suppose.
Well, Dennis Lehane. I mean, it's this guy, tip top.
I mean,
now, Taron, you're drunk. You're out at a karaoke bar. You're feeling
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Yeah.
Faith, George Michael.
Oh yeah, you got to have faith.
I bet that's good.
That's
Faith,
good.
George Michael is a good one.
Didn't take you a long time to answer that. How many times
No,
have you
that's a
performed that?
that's a long-standing one, and it depends on the mood as well. You know, if it's like a kind of I don't know, if I'm looking for a bit more gravitas, maybe a couple of Radiohead numbers like Bones
Jesus.
or
Attaboy.
Sulk,
Yeah.
or really dirty, maybe like Black Star, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's off the first
What's
album.
yours,
I
Jay?
love that you have a few available. Jason never would do it.
Yeah, I'm just on the Uber app looking for a ride out of there.
Mine's the theme to The Greatest American Hero.
Is that true?
Okay.
Yeah, remember that? Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Remember that song?
Mine is, no joke, mine is Crazy by Patsy Cline. Always.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What do you mean always? How much time are
Crazy.
you doing in a karaoke
I'm doing a
bar?
lot of karaoke, man.
Once a week?
You don't know my life.
I don't.
Do you sing, Jason? Do you
I
sing?
don't. Not even in the shower.
No.
Next question.
Which is why I want to hear you sing
be
so
so
bad.
bad.
Not
I have
even
to start drinking
God,
again.
there's so little joy in your spirit.
literally the
you know?
last time I sang was in a karaoke bar, doing press for Horrible Bosses 2, and I think I was still drinking, wasn't I? Maybe.
No.
I don't know. No,
you weren't.
No way,
You weren't.
right?
You weren't.
And
No
you
way.
did karaoke?
I did, and fucking Sudeikis, this guy. This guy's a natural performer.
He's a talent. He can sing and dance.
I'd
Sudeikis.
love to see a smackdown between you and Sudeikis.
Yeah,
Darren.
I think Taron would take him down though.
But that would be that'd be a heavyweight.
Has he
fight.
he's got a voice? He sings?
He's got a voice, and he's also
Oh,
just
yeah.
got like the guy's
Rhythm
not
and-
uncomfortable with the microphone in his hand.
Yeah, he's great.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
certain talent.
yeah.
Yeah, I sort of find it easier when there's a character I can hide behind.
Right.
Yes.
So the show they wrote in a whole bit in this new show I have coming out called Smoke, where my guy is obsessed with karaoke.
Oh, really?
Partly because they knew I could sing, and I noticed that I find it much easier to do it on set as a character than if I do it in my own personal life.
Life at a pub or something.
Yeah, I find it quite stressful.
Yeah.
Right. No, we're all like that. It's called I Hate Being Me. Also a good thing for a blank bumper sticker, Willie, if you got a second.
No, it's blank T-shirts that I have.
I hate being me is
t-shirts.
so
I just have
true.
I hate being ellipses, and then on the back, just put me.
Just me,
Okay, make
yeah.
me
We love
couple.
you, Jason. We love you.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
here.
I'll tell you who we do love. Taron
Egerton. Oh,
We
joining
love
us
Taron,
today.
You are something else.
Thanks.
You are something
Thanks,
else.
man.
yes.
Thanks for having
Please
We
say
rarely
hello to
clap.
anyone who cares in Wales.
Yes.
If you see Gareth Bale, tell him to send me the money. And best of luck with Smoke.
Smoke
Yeah,
on
Smoke.
Apple TV. It's on Apple
Well,
TV.
I can't wait to watch that.
That's
When does it
right.
come out?
It comes out on the 27th of June.
Day after my birthday.
Oh,
No way.
So
you
for
like
my
it.
birthday, we'll
For
watch
Tracy, Sean's birthday is the
Birthday
day
is
he
June.
was born. Is that
Born-
fucking?
that's pretty. That's safe
Yeah,
to
that's-
say.
yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah,
registered anywhere, Shawnee?
I'll email you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah. I'm registered.
Taron, love you. I love
Taron.
seeing you again. I miss you, my
Thank you,
friend.
nice
brother.
to meet you, Taron.
Say hi when you come back to LA.
Yeah, I will, mate. Take it easy.
Pleasure.
All right, my friend. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
Taron.
Bye,
Bye,
bye.
you guys.
Bye,
Bye,
Taron.
bye,
Pal.
bye, bye.
Okay, so anyway,
I-
Taron was
I-
amazing. Yeah, it was
yeah,
so
Taron
good.
was
And I
incredible.
love having Taron. It was so good.
Oh, you're just trying to get to your buy? Are you excited about your buy?
No, but it was just because like once he was gone, and then it was like the rush to see who was going to talk first.
Look how flustered he is, Sean. I think
Yeah.
did Taron leave a mark on you well?
He did. I liked him a lot.
Right?
I like him
That's a
too.
good
Yeah,
man.
I liked him a lot. He's got a great vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
And who else to see? He's got
Cool
a
it.
great, no, I'm just
You're
saying.
fucking breathing heavy.
He said he was single, right? I'm passing out.
Somebody lay me down. Call a grown up.
Call a grown up. No, that's a good looking male.
Hey, another one.
I'm just saying,
Man,
he's good looking.
Don't objectify Taron
I'm just
Egerton.
saying.
He's a
man.
good
Yeah.
guy. Very, very good guy. Great actor. You
And
know.
very smart, good head on his shoulders, focused.
Yeah.
Isn't he doesn't seem like he'd fall off the rails in any
No,
form.
and he said his attention to be very low temperature, like very even keeled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Balanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not some ninny.
Okay.
You know, Wales should be proud.
Well,
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're beyond
Yeah.
proud.
So, Sean, how's the search going?
Oh, good.
got
This
anything?
Sunday, Scotty and I are going
we
to
go.
my friend Kevin's birthday party in Ojai.
Oh,
Boy,
yes.
this is a
okay.
long.
That's
This is
place
a
in
really
California.
long.
And
Yeah,
what
so
is
it's
lead
north
in.
of here. It's called Ojai, not to be confused with.
No way. No fucking
No
way,
way.
dude.
Don't even fucking say that.
What are you talking
doing?
about? Not to
What
be
are you
confused
talking
with
about, dude?
Sacramento.
What are you doing? What?
Yeah.
No, but you know what?
Wait, what was that father joke you said at the beginning? The dad
I
joke? It
said,
was so good. The teacher.
yeah, I said, what? Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, yeah.
Private tutor.
What do you call a teacher who never farts in public?
Yeah, private
Private
tutor.
tutor.
Thank you.
Private
Yeah,
tutor.
thank you.
You know, he did that. He did the
comes Will.
Rocket
Here
Man.
comes Will. Yeah.
Right, which
Yeah,
was
sure did.
such a great, and one of my favorite Elton
Favorite
John
songs
You know the one?
ever.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
SmartLess.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Rob Armjarv, Bennett Barbaco, and Michael Granteri.
SmartLess.